Today, we're uncovering one of the most disturbing family secrets to ever come out of Korea. My sister-in-law's son looked exactly like my husband. The eyes, the nose, even the way he smiled. Every single feature was identical. I told myself it was just a family resemblance, but the truth I eventually uncovered was something I could never have imagined. Stay with me until the end of this story because it will send chills down your spine. The woman at the center of this story is Jieun, 31-year-old housewife, 3 years into her marriage. Her husband Taeho worked at a construction company. He was steady, reliable, and kind. They didn't have children yet, but their relationship was solid enough. Taeho had an older sister named Subin, 2 years his senior. Subin had married young and was raising a son on her own. The trouble started at the very first family holiday gathering. When all the relatives came together at her in-laws' home, Jieun saw Subin's son for the first time. In that moment, a strange feeling washed over her. The boy's face was strikingly similar to her husband Taeho. He's the uncle, of course there's a resemblance. Jieun forced herself to move on. But this is where the real trouble began. The holiday passed and life went back to normal, but that unsettling feeling never left her mind. Jieun pulled out her husband's childhood photos, and that's when the chill hit her. This wasn't the casual resemblance between an uncle and a nephew. This was like looking at a father and his son. Jieun suffered in silence. Could my husband be the father? No, that's impossible. But once suspicion takes root, it doesn't go away easily. She started watching her husband's behavior more closely. She noticed that whenever Taeho spoke with his sister Subin on the phone, his voice dropped noticeably lower. Whenever the nephew came up in conversation, Taeho would quickly change the subject. Then came the moment that changed everything. At her mother-in-law's birthday dinner, the whole family gathered again. Her mother-in-law held the little boy in her arms and said, "This kid is the spitting image of Taeho when he was little. He looks more like him than his own son does." Everyone laughed. Everyone except Jieun. To her, those words didn't sound like a joke at all. Jieun gathered her courage and asked her husband directly, "Don't you think Subin's son looks an awful lot like you?" Taeho froze for a split second. Then he quickly put on a smile and said, "We're family. Of course we look alike. Me and my sister look similar too." But Jieun caught it. Before that smile appeared, his eyes had wavered. Jieun decided to dig deeper. She traced back the timeline of Subin's marriage. Subin was known to have married very suddenly, not long after she started dating her husband. Even her mother-in-law had once mentioned, "I was worried because Subin rushed into marriage so quickly." Jieun cross-referenced Subin's wedding date with her son's date of birth. The numbers didn't add up. Counting backward from the boy's birthday, there was a real possibility that Subin was already pregnant before she even met her current husband. Inside Jieun's mind, the puzzle pieces started clicking into place. Subin's sudden marriage, the boy's face, Taeho's nervous eyes. No way, it can't be. Jieun felt goosebumps crawl across her entire body. Jieun made her decision. She was going to find out the truth. She arranged to meet Subin privately. Sitting across from her at a quiet cafe, Jieun spoke carefully. "Subin, I need to ask you one thing. Is your husband really the father of your son?" Subin's coffee cup stopped mid-air. The color drained from her face instantly. Subin couldn't speak for a long time. And then, finally, she opened her mouth. Now this is where the truly horrifying truth comes out. In a trembling voice, Subin said, Taeho isn't the father. But it's not what you're thinking either. Jieun was confused. Subin continued. The father of that child is Taeho's father. Jieun's world stopped. Taeho's father, her father-in-law. Subin's child was her father-in-law's child. Through her tears, Subin explained, years ago, her father-in-law had assaulted her. She could never tell anyone. When her mother-in-law found out about the pregnancy, she rushed to arrange Subin's marriage as fast as possible, all to bury the truth. Jieun's entire body was shaking. Subin continued. Mom knew everything and still took Dad's side. She told me to keep my mouth shut. She told me to get married fast and cover it up. Suddenly, everything made sense to Jieun. Why her mother-in-law had pushed Subin's wedding so urgently. Why her expression always hardened whenever the boy was mentioned. What this family had been protecting all along wasn't the family itself, it was a secret. Jieun went home and told her husband Taeho everything. At first, he refused to believe it. But when Subin called him directly and told him the same story herself, Taeho collapsed onto the living room floor. He whispered, "My father was that kind of person?" The family's biggest secret, born from a daughter-in-law's suspicion, had finally exploded into the open. Secrets buried under the name of family do not disappear. Given enough time, they always surface somewhere. A single resemblance sparked a suspicion that unearthed this family's darkest truth. What matters is not keeping the secret. What matters is making sure the victim's voice is never silenced. If this story stayed with you, please subscribe and hit that like button. We'll see you in the next one.